My name is Catherine Loughlin. I am the Associate Dean of Research and Knowledge Mobilization at the Sobey School of Business in Halifax. And my position is primarily focusing on research, our research strategy and implementation, impact of our research, certainly in terms of academia, but also in the community and beyond. I think we'd have to separate the short term from the long term. So I think in the short term, perhaps it didn't feel like there was much positive impact. There was a lot of adjustment and a lot of change and an incredibly rapid learning curve in terms of just technical competence and all of us feeling comfortable with the technology and teaching and doing research in such a different way. In the long term, I think that probably it will be something that we will look back on and be maybe even feel as though we have gained from. But I think in the short term, it's been rather painful. I think only in the long term will we probably see some of the benefits of the skills that we've had to develop because of the pandemic. Absolutely. There's no question. I mean, there's been no choice. So I think whether you were comfortable with doing things online before the pandemic or not, you had to be comfortable over the last year, or we have to be becoming comfortable. I don't think we're at a place where we're completely comfortable yet, but I think we had to develop new skills in terms of the technology, certainly in terms of flexibility, in terms of the pedagogy, in terms of thinking about how we could do our teaching or research in completely different ways. So there has been a great deal of skill development. I mean, unfortunately, under incredible time pressure, which makes it very stressful, I think, but there's been an incredible amount of skill development, and we will definitely be taking that forward far beyond the pandemic. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that, well, I can think of one on the research front and one on the teaching front. So on the teaching front, in terms of our executive MBA program, we made some real changes to the model in terms of the ways we were delivering the program. So moving to a high flex model, as it would be called, where we were able to have the students on campus 1 out of 4 times, but the other times they were all working remotely from home or wherever they were, and we were doing it online. So the flexibility to have students both on campus and online, and in some cases on campus and online, in terms of different students being unable to get into the city because of quarantine and various other issues related to the pandemic. And so we really had to adapt that model in order to be able to accommodate the goals, the learning outcomes that we were hoping from the program. And I think that really made a big difference. And then on the research front, I think it also made a big difference in the sense that we had to develop new practices because that was the only way we were going to be able to do our symposiums or workshops or talks that we would normally do. So whereas we might in the past invite a group of people to campus to be able to have a workshop or a symposium, now we were doing it online, which of course has a disadvantage in terms of networking or maybe some of those one-to-one conversations, but has a real advantage, I think, in terms of being able to get our message out to the community and get the community's involvement in the workshop or the symposium that you're doing. I'm thinking of our David Sobey Center for Retail, a recent event that we had last week on equality, diversity, inclusion. And there was, I'm not sure the exact numbers, but 350, 400 participants that were able to engage from all over the place where they might not have normally been able to attend or come to this 3-hour event. Because it was online, they were able to attend from all different places. And so it really enriches the experience for those that are involved, as well as for those that are able to access information that they might not otherwise be able to access, because we're able to do that remote delivery. So I think those are definitely practices that we'll take forward. It'll be interesting to see how we begin to integrate that into our regular practice and figuring out where the optimal times are for the face-to-face models and more for the online models.